Good afternoon. We'll call the special meeting of the FM Diversion Authority Board to order here. And first we'll have is a roll call.
Mayor
Don?
Carlson, Mayor Dardis, Mayor Mahoney,
Here.
Mr. Breitling, Mr. Hendrickson,
Here.
Mr. Pepcorn, Mr. Ebinger,
Here.
Ms. Kolpak,
Here.
Mr. Campbell,
Here.
Mr. Capitan,
Here.
Mr. Grimberg,
Here.
Mr. Steen,
Here.
and Ms. Morgan.
Here.
Quorum is present.
Let the record show, I think Commissioner Pepcorn did acknowledge. Anyone else online? Also let the record know that Mayor Carlson will be here. She's probably parking her car at the moment. So next item will be, we'll ask for a motion to approve the order of the agenda.
So move.
Second. Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Aye.
Moving on to the regular agenda, I'd be looking for a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, we'll have Don take the roll.
Mayor Carlson, Mayor Mahoney,
Here. Yes.
Mr. Hendricks, Mr. Hendrickson, Mr. Pepcorn,
Aye.
Mr. Ebinger,
Aye.
Ms. Kolpak,
Aye.
Mr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mr. Capitan,
Yes.
Mr. Grimberg,
Here, aye.
Mr. Steen,
Yes.
and Ms. Morgan.
Yes.
Is everyone?
And just one other, anybody else online that wants to acknowledge their attendance? We'll be back here after our executive session, but, okay, we'll stand in recess and go to our executive session. Okay, we'll come back to order, and I'll turn the podium over to John.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the Diversion Authority Board. It's my pleasure to present the statement of principles or settlement agreement, if you will, with the developer. This is the culmination of a lot of work and a lot of cooperation with the developer and the DNC's contractors' leadership. Just a kind of a caveat, their board still have to formally approve the agreement tomorrow. But we're not expecting any issues. And so I have a brief presentation just to go over the fundamentals for public information of the settlement. It'll be finalized once all of the parties sign it, which we're expecting to occur tomorrow. So, scroll. Oh, sorry. So the overall fundamentals of the settlement is it's a $57 million payment. It resolves approximately $400 million in total claims. The claims include delay claims, change orders, technical disputes, DRB formation delays, rebar issues. The settlement value equals about 2% of the $3.2 billion project. So it's $57 million is obviously a lot of money, but with a large project like this, I think sometimes it's appropriate to kind of step back and take a 30,000-foot view. The settlement agreement includes a release of all known or reasonably foreseeable claims as of the settlement date. That'll be through tomorrow. Obviously, you can't release claims that you don't know about in the future, and so it locks in the date at which all the claims are released up to that date. The agreement also contemplates some mechanisms, both informal and formal, that we hope will help to mitigate any future risk and also to promote cooperation among the parties. The $57 million is not paid out all at one time. It's paid out through a series of payments. The first $10 million payment, if you will, is essentially a down payment that's due in 30 days. The financial breakdown of the project, as we discussed, was $57 million. We view this as a total risk reduction for the authority of $343 million. That's based upon the stated value of the claims, which is approximately $400 million. It's structured as milestone payments. We'll briefly get into that. Here are the milestone payments that will be reached as each payment of the settlement is made. As I'd indicated, $10 million will be due 30 days after the effective date, which is July 3rd, 2025. So it'll be due right around August 1st. $10 million within 30 days of all corrective action agreed upon for non-compliance points. The parties' teams worked very hard to go through the process of rectifying the non-compliance points, what would be required. And so both the developers team and the authorities team worked very hard to work through those issues. $7 million upon receipt of the design and construction certificate for the Rush River Inlet and the diversion outlet structure. The construction certificates and the design certificates are certificates that are contemplated under the project agreement. $5 million for the local drainage, $5 million for the Maple River Aqueduct being completed, $5 million for the Cheyenne River Aqueduct, $5 million for all of the buildable units once we receive design and construction certificates for the North Dakota DOT bridges, $5 million for all completion of all BNSF bridges, and then finally $5 million for the completion of all the design and building or construction certificates for the buildable units for the Cass County bridges. And so these payments essentially will be structured over the period of 1 year. I know epoxy-coated rebar has been a matter of interest to the public. This settlement does resolve the epoxy-coated rebar matter. It includes resolution of all past, present, and future claims, compensation events, and disputes regarding the epoxy-coated rebar matter. The dispute centered around the use of epoxy-coated rebar and all reinforced concrete, or as alternatively suggested, was only in corrosive environments, and that dispute was that required by the technical requirements. That was referred to the Technical Dispute Review Board as really the first claim that was pending before the Dispute Review Board, and that was just prior to the open records request or open meetings request being made of the Attorney General regarding the DRB proceedings. And then all of those proceedings were put on hold. And that's why there's other claims that are getting resolved as part of this agreement, is that a lot of those claims hadn't gotten through the formal process because the DRB was essentially on hold until after the AG's opinion came out. The resolution, the leadership team worked very hard to come up with a resolution. So as of July of last year, epoxy-coated rebar was already being used in on all of the structures moving forward with construction. And it had previously been used in the road surfaces on the bridges and where there were other environments that you would see on a bridge. So the technical solution was to apply a product called TexCoat to expose reinforced concrete surfaces in accordance with the manufacturer's specifications. Generally, the treatment schedule is going to be as follows: once before substantial completion, which is anticipated to be October 1st of 2026, multiple treatments during the 30-year operation period as required by the manufacturer's specifications, and including one before handback, which would occur in approximately 32 to 33 years. As I'd indicated, one of our goals as a team was not only to resolve past claims, but also to create a more effective teaming and partnership moving forward with the developer. And so we've developed a number of informal teams, staff level teams that will meet and try to discuss issues before they become finalized. Those teams are really intended to provide for open communication. It really forces the teams to have regular check-ins and really encourages joint problem solving. I know with our negotiation team meeting with their negotiation team, we had 6 people. We really focused a lot of our efforts on identifying what the problem was and then trying to solve that. We're hoping that we can continue that momentum forward and really try to mitigate any future matters before they get to formal disputes. The parties have really firmed their commitment to working together. They're going to try to identify a facilitator to discuss partnering issues. Our goal and objective with this agreement is to build a better culture of partnership and accountability. So not only does it have partnership between the parties, but also accountability so that we don't end up exchanging memos and letters and not getting the project completed. Schedule changes were a big deal. I know it's something that's important to everybody to know when will the project be done. As part of this agreement, a new schedule referred to as PBS 3R2 will be provided to the authority, and that maintains the substantial completion date of October 1st of 2026. This last spring, it was reported to the legislature. I believe that was also a report in the lender's technical advisor report that there was approximately 161 days of delay. Through this agreement, the schedule is back on track. The parties agree that it's on track, and October 1st of 2026 is a substantial completion date with a 2027 flood year protection date. The new schedule, it establishes clear benchmarks, expectations the developer must meet. The headline news is it's a new schedule, same completion date. However, there's changes to the timelines or durations for different project components. And during our discussions with leadership, they're trying to bring on additional teams from subcontractors to help complete the work on time. Path forward, and this is a very complex settlement. It's not your typical settlement or project agreement whereby everybody can agree on one day and have it all done. There are some additional due-outs on the lender's side. So I've tried to reproduce a timeline of the estimated date of the settlement. So today we're asking for the board to approve the settlement. Tomorrow it will be approved by the developer and the DNC contractors board of directors. That triggers a 30-day requirement in which we're going to draft a more fulsome definitive settlement agreement. Currently, the agreement with the exhibits is about 150 pages. I expect the settlement agreement to be more lengthy than that. You may ask why such a complex agreement. It's a complex deal. Also, we need to finalize some changes to the project agreement, some amendments to reflect the agreements of the parties in this statement of principles, and then also to change the DNC contract and also to make amendments to the technical requirements. Those items need lenders' approval, so we'll be back to the board with those near final documents, ask you to give your blessing, then it'll go off to the lenders. The lenders have 75 days to review and comment on them. It's our understanding that the developer has been engaging in discussions with the lenders, so we don't think it'll take that long, but we want to be on the conservative side and give ourselves 75 days to do that. We also, under the agreement with the state engineer, technical requirements that change physical features of the project would need to be reviewed by the DWR, Office of Engineer. However, these aren't technical changes we're talking about, so we just probably need to verify with them that they don't have any comment. When I spoke with them a couple weeks ago, it didn't seem like there was any issue with reviewing these sorts of changes because they're largely administrative. Once again, it's other than those items, the releases that you're securing today are effective tomorrow. The payments are effective, so it's only those technical changes, the project agreement and technical requirements that we have to wait for lender's agreement. So even if that falls apart, we still have this agreement. Regarding schedule, that's something that has to be changed in the project agreement. In the event the lenders did not approve the new schedule, it would fall back to the old schedule for calculating time impact delays, and therefore we feel like we have sufficient protection in the unlikely event that there would be a lender's failure to approve. Once again, this is a very complex transaction, and so there's a lot of layers that we had to work through, and there'll be a lot of work ahead of us to kind of finish papering off the transaction. But your action today would be to approve this agreement, and then we'll finalize all the other documents, and you'll secure the releases as of tomorrow. As such, we're requesting a motion by the board to approve the statement of principles to be executed by the executive director in substantially the same form presented to the board today, with any material changes to the agreement subject to approval by the executive director or general counsel and board chair.
Let the record show that Mayor Dardis and Commissioner Breitling are online.
Move to approve.
Slow down, please, Mr. Mayor. Questions or comments from John?
I just have one comment, Chair Grunberg, if I may.
Yeah, please.
I just want to extend my deep gratitude and appreciation for all the work that went into resolving this. It was extremely complex, and where we were a year ago to where we are now, we have made progress by leaps and bounds. And I cannot express my joy, I guess, at the fact that we came together with our RVA and also ASN to resolve this. And hopefully it just helps smooth the path going forward. So shout out to you, Mr. Shockley, Mr. Nicholson, who I know is listening, and also to our new executive director, not so new anymore, Jason Benson. I think between the three of you, you had a really good grasp of the issues and were able to move forward in getting this resolved. So thank you so much. And also thank you to my fellow board members for standing behind these people that we have put into the trust that we've put into them to making this decision, because it is extremely complex, and it's smart people like you that we put in these positions that can help us resolve these. So thanks. And I will second the motion
Moved
by,
and seconded. Commissioner Steen, do you have a question? I saw you pull your mic in. It was a dead giveaway. Any other
Just getting ready to
comments?
vote.
Questions? Hearing none, we'll take the roll.
Mayor Carlson,
yes.
Mayor Dardis,
Yes.
Mayor Mahoney,
Yes.
Mr. Breitling,
Yes.
Mr. Hendrickson,
Yes.
Mr. Pepcorn,
Aye.
Mr. Ebinger,
Aye.
Ms. Kolpak,
Aye.
Mr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mr. Capitan,
Yes.
Mr. Grimberg,
Aye.
Mr. Steen,
Yes.
and Ms. Borgen.
Yes.
That is everyone.
Next meeting is July 24th. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Aye.